Hello and welcome to another episode of Battle Ready. Ready.
Shimmy, shimmy.
Good shimmying.
Yeah.
Where today we thought we'd talk about how or what is the best way to learn a new army.
To learn it.
Last time we talked about exploring new armies,
Yep.
right? Even new games, all that sort of stuff, right? So maybe, hopefully, there's some people out there that took our advice and are trying some new things.
We don't know.
And I'm sure there's a bunch of people out there who love playing different armies. I know I do.
Yep.
Right? And so the question is, how similar do you think the Iron Jaws and the Daughters of Khaine are?
Sun and Moon.
Not super similar, playstyle wise, right?
Playstyle wise, yeah.
Not super similar.
Or model wise.
So the question is, all right, if you get a new army, what's the best way to go about learning the new army?
Trial by fire.
What does that mean?
Play it.
Play it.
Just keep playing it.
Well, I definitely think that is probably the best component. I think that's probably the biggest component. Is you just need to get in the reps, right?
Mm-hmm.
You need to mess up with that army a bunch of times, and then you'll correct those mistakes, and eventually, after many reps, you'll have it down pretty well.
Yep.
Down pretty well. I think that's probably the most important. And I feel like when you first start learning an army, you definitely want to play to win, right? You want to play the game in a manner that is conducive to your victory. But I feel like you should also just sort of turn some knobs and twist some levers.
Yeah.
Right? Sort of figure out, you try some things and be like, oh shoot, that totally doesn't work.
Yeah.
All right, I'm not gonna do that with that unit anymore. And you might do something like, oh wow, this turned out to be way more effective than I thought it was going to be. Maybe I'll lean into this a little bit more as I change up my list.
Yeah.
I think that's actually important too. Is after each game,
modify list.
Yeah, or at least think about it, right? After each game, think, you know what? Maybe I should go harder into the fate points. Oh, maybe I should go harder into the summoning off board. Oh, maybe I should go harder into this or that. And I think, only through testing that out and really getting experience on the table are you going to see whether or not that's, good for you and how you learn it.
Yeah.
What else could you do?
Spearhead.
Spearhead's not bad. Spearhead, I think, will give you sort of the flavor for the army.
Yeah.
But Spearhead is sort of self-contained enough, and all the battle traits are different, right? That I don't know. I think it's great for teaching the game.
Yeah.
Because it has the same loop as the game, right? Hero phase, movement phase. It's got all that sort of stuff together. But as for learning a particular army, I don't know if learning that Spearhead is going to give you much in learning the army. I think it's going to give you a little flavor.
Sure.
Right? And so I think it's going to tell you in sort of general terms whether it's the kind of thing you'll like or not.
Yeah.
Right? So I think if you play the Spearhead and you're like, oh, this is sort of fun, it has the right flavor, even if the rules are different in the big army. If you play the Spearhead and you're like, this is sort of stupid, I don't like this, then maybe that's a good red flag.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't pursue that army any further. So I think that's part of it. What else do you think?
Read the book. That's probably important.
Reading the book and knowing the rules is probably important. I think sometimes people make cheat sheets with all the most relevant things that they're going to do, right? So that you don't have to, because otherwise you might find yourself flipping through the battle tome and wasting time doing that, and that's never super fun. So you make yourself a cheat sheet, right? And I think that the more you have that in front of you and you can keep the game rolling along, the better. To that end, it's almost assuredly that you will make some mistakes.
Oh, for sure.
For sure, especially early on, and probably forever. But because you're going to make some mistakes, what you should do is sort of remember any kind of rules questions that popped up, remember any doubts that you had, anything that seemed really too weak or really too strong, and maybe even write them down. And then after the game is over, you can do it during the game too, right? If you've got the time and your opponent doesn't mind or whatever. But certainly after the game is over, at least, go double check those.
Yeah.
Get your book out, read those rules, make sure you were playing correctly. And if you were, great, right? Everything's good. And if you weren't, for me at least, it's pretty rare. It's not entirely unknown, but I think it's pretty rare that I play the rule wrong twice.
Mm.
Because once I see the error and I'm like, ah, that's how that's supposed to go. It helps me remember in future games to do it the right way.
Yeah.
Right. Now, if I didn't realize I was doing it wrong, I might continue to play
Wrong forever.
wrong forever. But anytime that something weird comes up, I try to think about it later. I try to sort of go through it. It's a good time to start looking at FAQs, right? Especially if your army book, maybe you're getting into, I don't know, Flesh Eater Courts. And their army book came out a while ago, and their FAQs came out a while ago.
Yes.
You might have to, after you read your book, and maybe even play a game or two just with the book, then start looking at the FAQs once some sort of odd corner cases or interesting situations come up, right? And then you're like, oh, okay, that's how that works.
Mm-hmm.
What else do you think?
Looking at what other people say.
That is a surprising. I think that is sort of undervalued, an undervalued aspect of learning an army. Watching battle reports, watching other people play, looking at strategy guides. I think a lot of people will look at strategy guides and sort of see like how to play them well, right? But I think that's a different skill. It's not unrelated, but I think it's a different thing than learning how to play the army, right? Mm-hmm. Learning how to play and learning how to play well don't always teach you the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And especially if you don't know how to play, if you don't have that foundation of knowing how to play well, or at least what this particular guide says, sort of becomes a crutch.
Yeah.
Right? Because these things and these combos or whatever that's pointed out by that guide, but if something gets messed up, you don't have the foundational knowledge to like recalibrate and fix something and make the best use of what you have left because all you know is the guide.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's important. I think finding people who know what the army is like and can help teach is very helpful. It's not necessary, but it is very helpful. That's a lot of good stuff. What else?
I feel like we got it. I don't have any others. Do you have one?
Well, let me ask you this as a sort of a corollary. How well do you need to know your opponent's army?
I don't know what you do half the time. Like 75% of the time, I'll get really annoyed that you have some rule.
Well, I think you should know your opponent's army. Well, if you're at a tournament or something, you should know every army.
Yeah. Right.
You should just have at least a baseline understanding of their army and their tricks.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be caught out. It's like, oh yeah, when you charge, I roll on a D3, I kill your whole unit.
Yeah.
It's like, what rule is that? So I think you have to be aware of the tricks at least. But when you're with, outside of a tournament or outside of a game, so you're just playing with friends in the basement, in the garage, I think you need to have a little bit of knowledge. I don't think you need to know their army as well as you know your own, right? But I think you need to have a sense of their tricks. And I think you need to have a sense of like what their options are, right? It's like, ooh, am I playing something that's very mobile? And so if I leave this objective open, they can get to it. So I need to worry about that. Or am I playing like Slow Boy Nurgle? And I could leave this objective. It's going to take him 2 battle rounds to get to it.
Yeah.
So I'm safe, right? And then something like, okay, am I playing something that mostly has pretty good saves, like an Iron Jaws or a Slaves or a Stormcast, where I have to think, okay, now I really want to up my rend. I really want to focus on those kinds of spells. Or are you playing against somebody that's, like
Poor saves.
Really, really bad saves, like Daughters of Cain or Flesh Eaters, right, where the saves are pretty poor.
Max out multi-damage.
And you start thinking, okay, yeah, I don't need to worry so much about going heavy into rend. Maybe I can use this as a hammer or whatever, and then my heavy rend guy can go at their one unit that has good saves or something.
Or like the heroes.
Or yeah, the heroes maybe. So I think that knowing your opponent's army generally is helpful because that's going to teach you, well, not teach you, but it's going to inform how you play your army.
Yeah.
And I think that it's also important as you get your reps with the army that you're learning is to play against a lot of different other armies and ideally a lot of different opponents. right? Because how your army plays against the Stormcast might be very different than how they play against Tzeentch.
Yeah.
Right? It's a totally different experience. So I want to do things differently. And I feel like that's going, you can't always get that out of the book, right? The book just say the rules, but what's good in what situation really is something I think you have to find out in time.
Yeah.
All right. With that said, for me personally, I just like variety. So I'll play an army a couple times and then I am ready to move on. I have my favorites. Nurgle's one of my favorites. But mostly I just want to play different stuff. I just want to keep having different experiences. That has the effect of me not getting in as many reps, which means I don't quite get as good at an army as maybe I could have.
Everyone.
Well, I try. Right? You still play to win. But you have focused more, right? You've done more with Ironjawz.
Yep.
And then there's been a couple of little dabblers. And then every once in a while you do just a whack. I shouldn't say wacky, but like an army you don't usually play.
Yeah.
Right? So having focused in more on Ironjawz, how does that make you feel about knowing how to play Ironjawz versus knowing how to play a different army?
I feel like I know what I'm supposed to do more, but it also means you know what you're supposed to do more.
That is true. Yeah, because you're playing against me most of the time. It means I get to see. Yeah, all the time.
It's only guy.
I get to see what you're doing. And so even if I'm not getting reps with my army, I'm getting reps against Ironjawz.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that is true for sure. But you do feel more comfortable with Ironjawz?
Yeah.
I will say that when you play Ironjawz, at this point, you rarely forget any kind of special rule.
Yeah.
Like you know what you're doing, you know what you're looking for, you know what triggers when. Whereas when you first started playing them, or when I play any army basically, it's like, oh wait, hold on, we got to go back.
Yeah.
Hold on, back in the hero phase, I should have, right? And so I think that's an important thing. I think playing over and over at the bare minimum breeds familiarity.
Yeah.
Right. And then when you're familiar, you're less nervous, you're more clear-headed, and it helps you remember all the things you need to remember.
For sure.
Well, any other thoughts?
I think we got it.
All right. Let us know in the comments below your thoughts. How do you go about? You've got a new army. We're talking about a new game. We're talking about a new army within the Age of Sigmar pantheon in the world.
Yes.
The Mortal Realms.
Those ones.
How do you go about learning a new army? How do you go about achieving, maybe not mastery, but competence with a new army? This has been another episode of Battle Ready.
Ready.
Thanks so much for watching.